Hey yo, make sure y'all check that Me and Foul video. I got it pinned in the comments. It's called Brooklyn Thug Ish. You heard? Y'all know this fire. Make sure y'all go watch this again. BK.
Hey yo, don't hustle your head off in life and finally get some money and come up on some bread and spend it all on clothes and material things. Jewelry, chains, cars, and things of that nature. Cause you'll regret it. Now, we all grow up in communities, a lot of us grow up in communities where, you know, we was poor. And it was a heavy emphasis placed on not looking poor because it was embarrassing. You heard? Nobody wants to be poor. Nobody wants to wear, bummy clothes, holy clothes, hand-me-down clothes. We just wasn't with it. And kids were cruel growing up in the type of neighborhoods that we grew up with. And they would let you know when you was looking like a bum, when you ain't have a good new pair of sneakers, when your shirt was holy. The stuff that I see some young people get away with nowadays, we could never get away with that back in the days. You feel what I'm saying? You come to school with a hole in your sock or a hole in your shirt, it was over for you. But basically, it was a heavy emphasis placed on not looking poor. You heard? So everybody in the ghetto was always trying to not look poor, even though we are poor. You heard? But so we grow up on some, yo, man, listen, I gotta have this, I got to have that. Yo, mom, get me this new coat. I can't come to school without this new type of coat. I can't be seen without these new type of kicks. I need this type of hat that costs 200-300. Like, we really grow up like that in New York City, and it's sad. You heard? And not just New York City, but a lot in New York City. And some of us, man, when we get some bread, when we finally do get some bread, we want to do some powerful shit. We want to do some shit that's going to get us some more money. We want to do some shit that's going to help us come up. But in reality, bro, a nigga want a wardrobe. You heard? Like, I understand these things. You want a wardrobe. And realistically, a wardrobe for the type of clothes that we want, that shit $20,000-$30,000 for a whole wardrobe. You feel me? So when we get our hands on some bread, we start seeing like, damn, I could go get this new pair of kicks. I always wanted a pair of these right here. Oh, damn, I could finally get me a Montclair, a motherfucking Canada Goose. I wanted one of those for a long time. Damn, I could get the BMW. I wanted a BMW, like, you feel me? We want so much stuff from seeing so much stuff. We live in a capitalistic society and country where, you in the hood poor and fucked up, but a nigga driving past you with the Maserati like this, yeah. So it's like, yo, we live in a strange society where you constantly see riches in your face. You constantly see success in your face. You constantly see, careless spending and living it up in your face. Like, you feel me? So when you get some money, you like, damn, man, I want a gold chain on my neck. You seen others with gold chains on their neck and you said, damn, that's a nice chain, man. Got that dude looking clean, looking important. I want to look important like that. So you get some money, you go to the jeweler. You go get you a good chain, good ring or two. You heard then? You like, man, I can't be having jewelry and the clothes not matching. You heard? So you go get you 5 or 6 sweatsuits, 6 or 7 pair of kicks. Next thing you know, you done spent $10,000-$15,000 already just on straight clothes, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, all of this shit is rooted in poverty, bro. You heard? The mentality is rooted in poverty. Like, we've been poor for so long, you can't wait to not look poor so that you don't have to feel that level of embarrassment anymore. You heard? It was times where you wanted to go to a certain event or a club or something, but you ain't had nothing to wear. And you wasn't trying to go in there looking dusty and half clean and half new. You wanted to go in there crispy and shining and be, what your true potential is. I understand all of these things because I've gotten my hands on money now. I'm not gonna lie. I done got my hands on, anytime I got my hands on a serious amount of money, I made some type of move towards my rap career or entertainment career or something. I put some money, I sacrifice some money to take my shit to the next level. So I'm not a complete clown. But I have spent ridiculous amounts of money on clothes and cars and jewelry. You understand? Like, I just had the Audi Q7 for the last 3 years. Like, bro, I paid a lot of money on that lease for 3 years. You heard? And now that shit is gone. And it's like, I seen somebody with an Audi Q7 the other day, and I said, damn, I miss my baby. But then I don't miss that motherfucker. Like, I'm tired of spending all of that money. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what am I spending all that money for? For what? To be seen with a car? To what? For a chick to see me hopping in some shit like that? For my niggas in the hood to see me hopping in the shit? Like, what do I really need that car for? I really don't really need it. You heard? It's just the poverty in me that wanted to have some luxury shit because I could have it. You heard? Now that the nigga was getting a few dollars. You heard? But in reality, when that shit is gone and you realize the money that you spent on that shit, you like, yo, nigga, I could have took that money from that shit right there and did this to generate more money. So you live and you learn. This is why I'm making this joint. Like, you heard? There's a lot of dudes out there, they're young, or, even if you're not young, you could come up on a fortune at any time. But all I'm saying is, resist the urge to spend that shit on mad materialistic shit, bro, because them clothes get old, they start fading, getting holes in them shits. You heard? The cars start needing to get fixed. Like that Audi Q7 that I bought, check this shit out. That's a $70,000 car, right? I'm paying for that shit monthly, a rack and better, right? Bro, you only get a 30,000 mile warranty on that shit. Companies like Hyundai and Kia and shit like that, they be giving niggas 100,000 mile warranties. Anything that go wrong with that car after you purchase it with 100,000 miles, within 100,000 miles, you ain't gotta pay to fix nothing. These niggas like at Audi, they giving a 30,000 mile warranty. When that shit is up, everything is on you. So my shit was over that 30,000 a little couple of dollars. You feel me? I paid or whatever I owed or whatever. But them shits had a recall for a transmission problem. And literally days before I hit 30,000 on the warranty, my shit gave out. My transmission gave out. And I called in, they told it they fixed everything for free. But what if that shit would have happened right after my 30,000 mile warranty was up? A transmission on an Audi Q7? Niggas would have charged me like $10,000, $12,000 to fix that shit, bro. And I would be in debt and fucked up right now. So I dodged a major bullet. So my message to you, if you get that cake, we living in a day and times where motherfuckers is getting $10, $15 million podcast deals. Niggas is putting out independent films and documentaries, getting Netflix deals and motherfucking Prime Video deals and all type of crazy shit. Just putting something together and putting it out. Niggas is getting big bread out here now for putting together projects, getting them shits to these networks, or just staying independent. It's like, instead of spending all that money on bullshit, we living in the days and ages where we need to come together with some bread and start taking shots at this shit. Because the $10,000, $15,000 that you got right now, you gonna blow that shit on gas, food, and clothes. And then it's gonna be gone and you gonna be mad at yourself. Why not take a shot with that shit? You heard at something. Merch, a podcast, a movie, a web series. Why not take a shot at something you heard that could end up into some millions of dollars? Imagine you turn a couple of $10,000, $20,000 into some millions of dollars. You'll be proud of yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Your kids and your family will be proud of you. But the bottom line is, I say all that to say, I'm so sharp now that the next time I get, because I always manage to get my hands on some good bread. Like, I'm lucky like that, where I finally get my hands on some good bread after a lot of struggle and hard times. And the next time I get my hands on a real good bag, it's lights the fuck out. You heard? It's lights out. I'm doing something. I'm dropping something revolutionary, evolutionary. You heard? So, yeah, man, that's a message to all my dudes out there. You heard? You come up on some bread, you get a bag, man. Try to come together or do some shit on your own that's going to turn into some major bread, or just take a shot at that shit. Even if it don't go down, you took a good shot at that shit and you got something to show for it. You feel me? And that's basically all I got to say today, man. LAZ Gen Pop Gang. You heard I'm on my grind. I'm gonna start coming on this shit and just doing, it ain't all about jail stories and hood stories all the time. Sometimes we gotta talk and build. You heard? And strengthen our minds out there. You heard? But we gonna get it. LAZ. Holla at me.